What if I told you that the secret to a calmer mind, a cleaner home, and even a more disciplined life might not be about what you add but what you remove? In Japan, one of the most organized and peaceful cultures in the world, there is a quiet philosophy. Your home is a reflection of your mind, and clutter is silent stress. And because of this mindset, there are certain things many Japanese households simply do not keep at home, not because of superstition, not because of wealth, but because of discipline, culture, and mental clarity. And today, you're going to discover 13 of those things. Some of them might shock you. Some of them might already be sitting in your house right now. By the end of this video, you may never look at your home the same way again. In Japanese culture, there is a powerful concept called danshari. It's not just decluttering, it's a way of life. It teaches, refuse what you don't need, let go of what doesn't serve you, separate yourself from unnecessary attachments. The result? Homes that feel lighter, minds that feel clearer, and lives that feel more intentional. Now imagine applying that mindset to your own home. Let's go through 13 things that are commonly avoided in many Japanese households, and why you might want to reconsider keeping them too. 1. Excess furniture. In many modern homes around the world, furniture often becomes a symbol of comfort, status, and completion. The more you have, the more settled a space appears. But in many Japanese-inspired living spaces, the philosophy is almost the opposite. Rooms are not filled for the sake of appearance. They are designed with intention, with breathing room in mind. Because in this way of thinking, space itself is not empty, it is valuable, even sacred. Every object placed inside a room competes for attention. And when too many pieces compete at once, something subtle begins to happen. The mind becomes overstimulated without even realizing it. This is what is often referred to as visual noise, when the eyes have nowhere to rest, and the brain is constantly processing unnecessary detail in the background. Even if the room is technically clean, it can still feel heavy. And that heaviness is not always physical, it is psychological. That is why Japanese interiors often lean towards simplicity, not emptiness, but intentional space. Furniture is chosen carefully, not just for appearance, but for function, flexibility, and purpose. You will often see multifunctional designs, low tables that can be folded away, storage beds that hide clutter, or modular pieces that serve more than one role. Nothing is random, nothing is excessive, and interestingly, when a room is stripped of unnecessary furniture, something changes. The space feels larger, even if its size hasn't changed. Movement becomes easier, cleaning becomes faster, and the mind, almost unconsciously, relaxes. Because the room is no longer demanding your attention from every direction, it is simply allowing you to exist within it. And that is the real difference. Less furniture does not mean less comfort. It means more freedom to move, more clarity to think, and more space to simply be. 2. Broken or unused items. It often starts small. A chair with a loose leg. A toaster that only works if you press the button twice. A fan that still kind of works if you adjust it just right. So we keep them. Not because they are useful, but because we delay the decision to let go. We tell ourselves, I'll fix it soon. Or, it might still come in handy. But days turn into months. Months turn into years. And the broken object quietly becomes part of the environment. In many Japanese households, however, there is a stronger sense of immediacy when it comes to broken items. Because an item that no longer functions is no longer fulfilling its purpose. And if something cannot serve its role, it is either repaired quickly or respectfully removed. The idea is not wastefulness, it is clarity. There is a belief that keeping broken objects around creates a subtle psychological weight. Not loud, not obvious, but persistent. Like unfinished thoughts sitting in the background of your mind. Every time you see it, you are reminded not just of the object, but of something incomplete, something unresolved. And over time, that feeling spreads quietly through the home. That is why the principle is simple. If it is broken, it should either be restored or released. Because a home filled with unresolved objects often becomes a reflection of an unresolved mind. And when those items are finally removed, something interesting happens. The space feels lighter, not because more things were added, but because unfinished energy was cleared away. 3. Excess paper clutter. Paper is deceptive. It does not scream for attention. It does not take up much space individually. It feels harmless. A receipt here, a flyer there, an old notebook on the side, a manual you might need later, and slowly, without noticing, it begins to accumulate. In drawers, on tables, inside bags, under surfaces, until one day, it becomes a quiet stack of disorder. In many Japanese households, paper clutter is treated with urgency, not because paper is dangerous, but because it spreads easily and silently. Systems are often put in place to sort, file, or discard documents immediately after use. Because paper has a special trait, it creates the illusion of importance even when it is no longer useful. A stack of papers can make a space look busy even when nothing is happening. And more importantly, it creates mental background noise. Even if you are not consciously thinking about it, your brain registers it as unfinished business, unsorted, unresolved, pending. And that subtle pressure builds up over time. But when paper is regularly cleared, filed, or digitized, something changes. Surfaces become open again, drawers become lighter, and the environment begins to feel calmer. Because clarity is not only about what you see, it is also about what you don't have to process. 4. Unnecessary decorations. Decoration is often associated with beauty, but there is a fine line between beauty and excess. In many Japanese-inspired homes, decoration is not about filling space, it is about enhancing it. Each item is chosen with intention, not just for how it looks, but for how it contributes to the atmosphere of the room. A single plant, a carefully placed ceramic piece, a seasonal flower arrangement, a scroll with simple calligraphy. These are not random additions. They are deliberate expressions of balance. Because when too many decorative items are added, something subtle happens. The eye no longer knows where to rest. The room becomes visually crowded. And instead of feeling peaceful, it starts to feel busy. Even beauty, when overused, can become overwhelming. That is why the philosophy leans toward restraint. Not empty space for the sake of emptiness, but space that allows each object to breathe. In this kind of environment, even a single item can feel more meaningful. Because it is not competing with 10 others for attention. It stands alone, clearly, intentionally. And this creates a powerful shift in perception. You begin to appreciate what is present, instead of constantly scanning what is missing. Because sometimes, simplicity is not the absence of beauty. It is the presence of clarity. 5. Expired food items. Food carries more than just nutrition. It carries effort, time, intention, and care. That is why in many Japanese households, there is a strong sense of respect toward food even before it is eaten. And that respect extends to how food is stored and managed. Expired items are rarely allowed to remain in refrigerators or cabinets, not only because of hygiene concerns, but because they represent neglect. A forgotten item at the back of a shelf is more than just outdated food. It is a reminder of something overlooked. And over time, those small oversights begin to add up. A fridge filled with expired products often reflects something deeper. A lack of attention to what is being consumed and what is being kept. But when food is regularly checked, rotated, and cleared, the entire kitchen environment changes. It becomes more intentional, more organized, more alive. You begin to see exactly what you have. You waste less. And you value more what you choose to keep. Because food is not just about storage, it is about awareness. And a clean, updated kitchen often reflects a mind that is actively engaged with its own well-being. Not passive, not neglectful, but present. 6. Worn-out clothing you never wear. In many homes, clothing becomes more than fabric, it becomes memory. That old shirt you wore during a special trip, the jeans you plan to fit into again someday, the dress you bought because it was on sale, even though it never truly felt like you. Over time, closets quietly turn into emotional storage rooms. But in many Japanese-inspired decluttering practices, there is a firm but simple principle. If you haven't worn it in a long time, It no longer serves your present life. Not because it has no value, but because your space should reflect who you are now, not who you used to be. Closets are treated like functional systems, not emotional museums. Every item is expected to earn its place through use, not memory. And this shift changes something deeper than clothing. Because when your wardrobe is filled with only what you actually wear, you no longer waste time choosing. You no longer feel overwhelmed before even starting your day. Instead, your clothing becomes effortless, intentional, aligned with your real life, not your past self. 7. Dirty shoes indoors. In Japan, the moment you step into a home, something subtle but powerful happens. You leave the outside world behind. Shoes are removed at the entrance, almost like a ritual boundary between chaos and calm. But it goes even further than that. Even indoor footwear is treated with care, kept clean, minimal, and purpose-driven. Because the home is not just a shelter, it is a protected environment. It is believed that everything from the outside carries invisible weight, dust, noise, energy, stress from the day. And so, removing shoes is not just about hygiene. It is symbolic. It says, the outside world stays outside. The home becomes a reset space, a place where your mind is not constantly reminded of movement, urgency, or external pressure. Even in small apartments or shared spaces, this habit creates a psychological separation that many people underestimate. Because once you step into a clean, shoe-free environment, your brain receives a message. You are safe here. You can slow down now. And that shift alone changes everything. 8. Excess plastic bags. Plastic bags are one of the most silent forms of clutter. At first, they seem harmless, just a few stored under the sink or inside a drawer. But slowly, they multiply. Folded bags inside bags, overflowing corners, forgotten piles. In many Japanese households, this invisible accumulation is carefully controlled. Instead of letting them build up endlessly, they are immediately sorted, some reused for trash lining or storage, others recycled without hesitation. The mindset is simple. If something has no clear purpose, it should not take up permanent space. Because clutter is not always loud. Sometimes it is quiet, hidden, forgettable. But that is exactly what makes it dangerous. Small items like plastic bags do not feel overwhelming on their own, but together, they create a sense of unseen disorder. And over time, that disorder spreads not just through the home, but through the mind. So the goal is not perfection. It is awareness, knowing what enters your space, and what quietly accumulates inside it. 9. Unused kitchenware. The kitchen is often the most crowded place in a home, not because of food, but because of objects. Extra plates, duplicate spoons, gadgets bought with excitement but rarely touched again. Over time, drawers begin to feel heavier than they should. But in minimalist Japanese kitchens, there is a strong sense of discipline. Every item must justify its existence through use. If a utensil hasn't been used in months, it is questioned. If it has no real function, it is released. Not out of wastefulness, but out of respect for space. Because a kitchen is not meant to display everything you own. It is meant to support how you actually cook and live. And something interesting happens when your kitchen is simplified. Cooking becomes faster. Cleaning becomes easier. And decision fatigue disappears. You no longer search through clutter to find what you need. Everything has its place. Everything has its role. And your kitchen becomes what it was always meant to be. A tool for living, not a storage unit for forgotten items. 10. Old magazines and newspapers. Printed materials often enter a home with purpose, information, entertainment, curiosity. But once read, they often lose their purpose, yet remain. Stacked on tables, piled beside beds, left for later, that never comes. In many Japanese-inspired homes, this is seen differently. Information is not meant to stay frozen. It is meant to be consumed, understood, and then released. Once its purpose is fulfilled, it is allowed to leave. Because when old magazines and newspapers accumulate, they do more than take up physical space, they create mental weight. Each stack becomes a reminder of unfinished attention, unprocessed content, unresolved, later. And without realizing it, the mind begins to mirror the environment. A cluttered space of information often leads to a cluttered thought process, too many inputs, not enough clarity. But when reading materials are regularly cleared, something shifts. The home feels lighter, the mind feels less crowded, and attention becomes more present. Because flow is healthier than stagnation, both in space and in thought. 11. Excess bedding. In many Western homes, beds remain fully made and permanent throughout the day. But in many Japanese living spaces, especially smaller homes, the bed is not a fixed object. It is a system. Futons are laid out at night for rest, then folded and stored away in the morning. This daily action may seem small, but its impact is significant, because it transforms a single-purpose room into a flexible space. At night, it is a bedroom. During the day, it becomes a living room, workspace, or open area. This is not just about saving space, it is about expanding possibility. And psychologically, it reinforces something powerful. Your environment is not fixed. It is adaptable. There is something freeing about walking into a room that is not permanently assigned to one function. It feels open, unlocked, available. And in that openness, the mind follows. Less constraint in space often leads to more flexibility in thinking. 12. Emotional clutter. Gifts you don't use. This is often the most difficult category to confront, because these are not random objects. They are gifts, memories, symbols of relationships. And so they are kept not because they are useful, but because letting go feels uncomfortable. But in Japanese-inspired minimalism, there is a gentle but honest question often asked: does this item bring joy or only obligation? If a gift is cherished and used, it naturally earns its place. But if it sits untouched for years, wrapped in guilt rather than appreciation, it begins to shift from joy to weight. And over time, that weight becomes emotional clutter. Not because the gift is bad, but because its purpose has already been fulfilled the moment it was received. Letting go of such items is not rejection of the giver. It is acceptance that memories do not need physical anchors to remain meaningful. The memory lives in you, not in the object. And freeing space from unused emotional items often creates something surprising: relief. A sense of lightness that comes not from forgetting, but from releasing. 13. Digital clutter. Forgotten devices and files. In today's world, clutter is no longer just physical. It lives in phones, in laptops, in storage clouds, in forgotten folders, old screenshots, unused apps, duplicate photos, files you no longer recognize, but never deleted. And just like physical clutter, digital clutter accumulates silently. In Japan's highly organized lifestyle culture, digital spaces are treated with the same seriousness as physical rooms. Unused devices are removed or recycled. Old cables are sorted. Files are regularly cleaned and simplified. Because a slow phone or disorganized device is not just a technical issue, it is a mental one. Every notification, every unnecessary file, every cluttered screen adds micro-level stress, not always noticeable, but always present. And over time, it creates the same effect as a messy room: mental fatigue. But when digital spaces are cleaned, something interesting happens. Devices feel faster, focus improves, and mental clarity returns. Because whether physical or digital, clutter always does the same thing: it demands attention you did not agree to give. And removing it is not just organization, it is mental recovery. At first glance, these habits may look extreme, but beneath them is a deeper philosophy. Your environment shapes your behavior, and your behavior shapes your life. Japanese minimal living isn't about emptiness. It's about intentional fullness, keeping only what adds value. When you remove what you don't need, you don't become empty. You become clearer. So now the question is not just what Japanese people don't keep at home, but what are you still holding on to that's quietly weighing you down? Maybe it's time to rethink your space. Not to copy a culture, but to reclaim your peace. If this video made you see your home differently, give it a like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs a little more clarity in their life. And remember, sometimes the biggest transformation doesn't come from adding more, but from finally letting go.